What's going on, guys? You got Sturcules here with my NPDL Season 8 Week 1 Team Builder. So let's go ahead and look through our sets real quick. I'm doing this after the battle, so I can't go to my team page and show you his team because it's got my Week 2 opponents up there. But he's got Urshifu, he's got Flygon, he's got Spectrier, he's got not Bronzong, I've got Bronzong. He's got Ferrothorn, he's got Rotom Heat, he's got Weezing, he's got Berserker. And past that, I can't remember off the top of my head. He's got 3 more past those. But I'm pretty sure he's bringing those 6 minus Berserker. That's who I guessed was coming into it. I ended up guessing right, spoiler alert. But let's just go through my sets real quick. So first things first, we had Stormbreaker, the Choice Scarf, Zeraora, Dragapult. Mons that are this fast if you want to run Scarfed are so cool because this outspeeds any other Scarfer on his team other than if Spectrier were Scarfed, and I just didn't think it would be with me having Scrafty as bulky of a Mon as it is. So I figured I just needed to outspeed a Scarfed Flygon. So we had Plasma Fist just for overall coverage, but that does hit Urshifu Rapid Strike. It just hits his team hard. Fire Punch for a weakened down Ferrothorn, Play Rough for a Flygon on a switch, and Knock Off just for general coverage, but also to hit Spectrier, obviously. Next up we got Sokka, the Assault Vest Scrafty. This is our kind of a pseudo answer to Rotom Heat, but really more than anything this was our Spectrier answer because that thing is a monster. It's got such a good special defense. You'll see here I went a lot of HP, didn't have to go a whole lot of special defense to still be taking some hits really well. 20 speed just to outspeed anything that under it that might be trying to speed creep. And mostly a lot of that into attack just so we're not too passive. Still hit hard with Drain Punch, Knock Off, and Ice Punch. Obviously the Ice Punch is for Flygon. And the Dragon Tail is just for anything that wants to set up. Or at any point, like if I think Rotom has boots and I can get rid of those, if I start Dragon Tailing, then it's got to start taking some Stealth Rock damage, which I want to get up early with my Bronzong, All Day Zong. Hopefully he'll be around All Day Zong and not dying too fast on me. Rocky Helmet because Surging Strikes does hit 3 times, so that's a way to punish that. But just any other physical threat like Flygon that might end up making contact because it obviously cannot hit me with Earthquake because we have Levitate. Very defensive, lots of HP, lots of defense. Enough special attack, really just to get up to a rounded number. The special attack, special defense don't do a whole lot, just add a little bit to it when you don't need. I didn't need to go full defensive. I was taking the hits well either way, so I figured I'd spread out some EVs, Psychic, Body Press, want a Toxic, anything on his team that might want to set up. And then obviously its biggest thing is getting up Stealth Rocks. A Body Press on Ferrothorn can help us kind of start to gauge what kind of Ferrothorn it is it physical or special? A Zulongmon, my Gyarados with Lumberry, ideally is what I can win with. I initially had Wakenberry, but I decided trying to not die to an electric move is a lot of effort. And he has a lot of things on his team that can burn. He has things on his team that can Toxic and Thunder Wave. But he's likely bringing 3 things that all get Will-O-Wisp. Weezing, Rotom Heat, and Spectrier. So I love having Lumberry for that for a potential setup option. So Waterfall is going to hit pretty much all of his team except Urshifu, Ferrothorn, and Weezing. Which, okay, that's half of his team, but we have other things. The Power Whip is for Urshifu. If we get up to +1, that should do a monstrous amount of damage. The Weezing we just need to weaken down to a decent amount before Gyarados can come in and set up with Dragon Dance. And then the biggest thing is Fire Blast. It's so cool to get to run on this. If he is a physically defensive Ferrothorn, which I think he will be because of Scrafty, mainly because of Zeraora, and because he's not taking a hit from Volcarona, so why be specially defensive, is my thought. So I think he'll be physically defensive. So Fire Blast does like 52 to 64 as long as it hits. So I thought that was really cool. So I'm running a minus defense nature. So we're not going to take defensive moves as well, but we have Intimidate to help out with that a little bit. So you see I put the 4 special attack there just as a reminder that I wasn't minus special attack. Mostly lots of HP, a ton of attack, and I didn't need a whole lot of speed because the fact of the matter is if I Dragon Danced and he had a Scarfed Flygon or a Scarfed Urshifu, we wouldn't be faster anyway. So we just needed enough to be able to outspeed a normal Spectrier. So ideally, there might be a situation where I can get a second Dragon Dance up and for sure outspeed anything. If nothing else, +1 can start doing some damage. Have my switches if I need them. Heavy Duty Boots, Togekiss, Air Slash, Dazzling Gleam, Aura Sphere, and Roost. This was extremely hard to pick a set because there's so many moves I wanted to include. I thought Thunder Wave was cool on some of his mons, especially like Ferrothorn or Spectrier or Urshifu. I thought Air Slash was really nice for flinching his team. Dazzling Gleam was nice just because it hits Flygon and Urshifu. Aura Sphere is not as good for Ferrothorn as obviously something like Flamethrower, but I had to be able to at least somewhat hit Rotom Heat. So I was like, you know what, it's still super effective, and it hits Rotom Heat neutrally. Kind of wanted to bring Ancient Power, try to cheese a Ancient Power hit on Rotom, but I just figured it wasn't smart. And because of the 4-move slot syndrome, I could not bring Defog this week. I figured we'd be okay. Really only my top two up there, Zeraora and Gyarados, need to worry too much about getting worn down by rocks. You can see I had a lot of defense and HP. Basically, this set with 20 special attack and modest meant Togekiss was still getting above 300 HP, or 300 special attack, so it could still hit hard enough with those moves. But this set was basically just to be able to take hits on both sides and hopefully roost it off. The 216 defense, I think, got me up to like 280. The 16 special defense got me up to 270, so about the same. And then just with some HP, and then an 8 speed in case of speed creeping, basically. And yeah, just wanted to take hits and roost, dish them back if I could. If I'm faster, hopefully I can Air Slash flinch. Then we got Sneck Pillow, the Sandaconda with leftovers. We ran Shed Skin on both Scrafty and Sandaconda because he does have so many things that won a status. So we have a 33% chance at the end of each turn for those to be shed away. So Earthquake, Stone Edge, Dragon Rush, and Coil. You see on a lot of these I'm spreading out stats a lot. A lot of times I'll put a lot more into them. But like for example on something like Sandaconda, HP just made it be able to live hits on both sides. The 96 attack and 60 defense don't seem like a whole lot, but basically what that does is after one coil that puts them in position where they're hopping up from 300 to 450. So that you can see that's a lot of defense and attack that it's naturally got. So I also wanted to put almost 100 in special defense just to help to take any sort of hit like a Shadow Ball or an Overheat. We're not taking a ton of those, but in a late game situation just to have a little bit extra bulk there is helpful. And then once again the 8 speed just in case there's potentially speed creeping. So yeah, pretty straightforward. Scrafty is kind of my Assault Vest answer to Spectrier. Bronzong, while it doesn't really resist Urshifu's moves, hopefully the Rocky Helmet can punish it a little bit. Togekiss can hopefully just be all around helpful. And then basically Sandaconda with this coil set is not meant to do any sort of like sweeping or anything this week. Just getting up a coil can kind of help break something. And Scarf, Zeraora, and Gyarados, as long as the rest of the team can keep rocks up and start shipping things down, I think one of those two can win late game. So that is the team. Like I said, I was very sure those 6 were coming for this first week, and that is what ended up happening. So let's go ahead, guys, and hop into this battle. What is up, guys? We have our battle. If you're just off the team preview, you already know my sets. Now you see what mons he's running. I think I kind of previewed which 6 I think he'd been running, just based on his team. And I kind of just had to hope for that because that's what I had prepping for. So this is what we got. So shall we just hop in? I look at my leads, and not many leads feel great. I would love Zeraora if it had Volt Switch for this. I know I would probably be making a prediction with knockoff early anyway, but I wasn't feeling it. I thought, you know what, let's lead off with Bronzong. I was wishing I had Volcarona in this match because I had a good feeling he'd lead Pharaoh. It was going to be hard to take down. And my good feeling was not far off because, yeah, we both lead with our rocks. So I get up Stealth Rocks, and so does he early. I'm going for the Body Press just to try to guess damage, and we're going to see he has Iron Barbs, and he's physically defensive. He's getting some health back with those Leech Seeds, and I am not a fan of that. So I'm going to go into Togekiss, Heavy Duty Boots, not taking damage, but he double Leech Seeds What a good Madman play right there. And he protects, so that's going to be really tough for us because he's going to keep being able to get intel on top of the leftovers recovery he's getting. So I figure I'll just flinch him a few times to get him in Aura Sphere range. And what do you know? The 60% flinch does not happen. Togekiss, we got to be better about that, man. So smartly, he's going to protect again, get even more intel on what I want to do. He's going to stay in, and as much as I don't like taking this damage, I am actually quite happy to get those leftovers gone because now he is only getting Leech Seed recovery. Here we're going to go into Scrafty. Hopefully we can scare him out with some stab fighting moves, and that's indeed what happens as we're going to throw off a Drain Punch. He did have to be worried about setup or about like a banded close combat, so I get the switch. We get a crit there, not a huge deal, but it is a few extra HP points. I make my easy steel switch in. This is really the only thing after Togekiss being gone that I want burned, so it worked out okay. We take this Fire Blast alright, and we are going to hit him back with a big Psychic to find out he is indeed specially defensive, or else that would have done a whole lot more. This is good news for Gyarados, who can come in on another Fire Blast. Now we can Dragon Dance up because a +1 Waterfall is going to kill even after this Black Sludge recovery. He's going to try to burn us and miss. That is a bummer, except for the fact that we have Lumberry, so really not a huge deal. This crit did not matter either from everything I can remember. We were getting a kill there. So he comes in with 2 Thorny, and we're going to reveal the Fire Blast, the heat of the week, if you will. He gets off those Leech Seeds, and I think he's probably going to protect, so now I can Dragon Dance. As long as we hit this Fire Blast and can hit a Power Whip, we actually win here, guys. It roll extremely in our favor for Fire Blast to kill there. It does. Hit this Power Whip, and we should end the game with Waterfall, being at +2. Unfortunately, the Power Whip miss hurts really bad because now we're actually in kind of a tough spot. I think he's probably choiced the way he switches. We knock off. We see the Dragon Fang is out of here, and I know Flygon's not Scarfed, making me think he's probably Scarfed or Shifu because he's going to want to be able to outspeed Zeraora, in my opinion. We're going to be able to let him kill us with Dragon Claw, but we get Rocky Helmet damage. You love to see it. Sandaconda, I kind of want to coil, and since he Dragon Danced, it would have been kind of cool to do so. But I just go for the Dragon Rush because I am a little bit scared. I want to get this Flygon gone without much damage. We're at 100%. Now, we can't take 2 overheats. I just want to get some damage here with Stone Edge, which we're going to miss. There's a lot of unfortunate hacks going on, but I'm not too worried about the Stone Edge miss, even though the damage would have been really nice for this. I'm still kind of mad about the power up miss, if we're being real. But that's just life, Ben. Keep playing. I don't know why I coiled there. If we're being honest with ourselves, the move made no sense whatsoever. So I'm going to get some hacks in my favor now, as he is going to miss a Will-O-Wisp here as we go in for a knockoff. And that knockoff damage is actually very big for the end game that we're going to need for Zeraora to be able to win. So now we Drain Punch here, just getting a little damage back, kind of still reading what he wants to do. He's going to overheat here. We are Assault Vest. We eat that up since his special attack is down so much. We Dragon Tail him out, which might feel kind of weird, but this is what I wanted. I wanted to see if I could get lucky and if I could get this to come in instead of Urshifu. It does. We're able to knock off Horse's Choice Specs, meaning we're actually able to leave this next Specs Hex, well, non-Specs Hex. So we die here to our own burn, which is perfect because now Zeraora can just come in and click Plasma Fists twice, unless he's like Bandit Aqua Jet, and even then we might possibly be out of the range since we are running a lot of HP on this, but yeah, Plasma Fists picks up the win. So what could have been a nice 5-0 win with 6 kills for Gyarados would have been awesome. But that's what happens when you run inaccurate moves. I did dodge 2 Will-O-Wisps myself. The first one did not matter at all because I have my Lumberry. The second one very much mattered because then I got some extra damage on Rotom that I really needed for Zeraora. So I would say we both had some really rough hacks against us, and then we both had some hacks that didn't really matter. Like that Stone Edge miss. Didn't love it, but wasn't the end of the world. I know I crit him a few times that ended up not being that big of a deal. So, but it did seem like hacks were just everywhere, which is always unfortunate to see. As you see here, we've got our 1-0 victory. And I actually have some free agency moves to show you before our week two match. So stay tuned real quick. All right, so real quick, let's go ahead and look over the free agency moves I made. And then we can also go ahead and just kind of look at what the league is looking at right now, where everyone is sitting. We're not going to focus too much on our week 2 matchup yet because I will have a team builder for this. But if you look at my team, you can kind of see the stats, and you're going to see two different Mons that maybe you're very surprised by the change I made. As you can see, Zera Aura looking good at 2-0. Togekiss with a ways to go at 0-1. Gyarados at 2-1. Bronzong kind of did its job, got up rocks, 0-1. And then Sandaconda and Scrafty were both able to go even on kills last week. The big moves that I made is I got rid of Kubfu. And one of my season goals was, hey, get multiple kills for Kubfu. I'm definitely bringing this thing at some point this season. That was for fun. But I was kind of just looking at my team options anyway. And as good as Volcarona is, I just kind of realized facing off against Rotom Heat this week that my team outside of Gyarados does not switch in to fire types just at all. Like everything else was neutral or super effective, and a lot of them just did not want to take fire hits. So I was kind of thinking I really need to patch that up. Volcarona is a fire type that doesn't resist fire. Volcarona is also a huge threat. Going back to the draft, a few Mons I was really considering were Gengar and Nihilego. Nihilego, not only is that a really good fire resist because it has a monstrous special defense, it's also a very good offensive threat too because of Beast Boost. Now Volcarona could get off some Quiver Dances and go crazy, but Nihilego can click a move and pick up a KO, and it also gets a Beast Boost. Now it doesn't get the speed boost and like a special attack boost and a special defense boost like Quiver Dance, but I still think Nihilego is a really good Mon. It doesn't have the greatest coverage for things like ground types or steel types. Actually, you know what? It does have a little bit for ground types because of Grass Knot, but it gets pretty good coverage. Its dual stab can actually hit quite a few things between rock and poison, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Nihilego is the only rock poison type in the game. It is quad weak to ground, and I brought in 2 weak to ground Mons, but I mean, if you do look at the fact that I have Bronzong with Levitate, Eldegoss that resists ground, and then I also have Togekiss and Gyarados, which can both switch in on some ground type moves, I think I'm okay in that sense. It's not a good Mon physically, offensive or defensive. I have physically offensive threats, and I have things that can take hits physically defensive. Bronzong and Sandaconda. Scrafty can take hits on both sides, plus its ability to intimidate. So doing that, I actually gained myself 40 points by dropping Volcarona from 180 to Nihilego at 140, so I'm a big fan of that move, giving myself 40 more points, which means I could get rid of Kubfu, which was a bummer, but Kubfu is not a good Pokemon. I was excited to use it because I wanted to make a bad Pokemon do something fun, but when it really comes down to it, I'm getting a raid invitation in Pokemon Go that I am absolutely going to do. Anyway, sorry. I went up to Turtonator. Turtonator is a tier 60 Mon. It gives me another Rapid Spinner on top of Eldegoss, which I'm a huge fan of because Eldegoss can be kind of hard to bring. So I essentially, in my opinion, gained some hazard removal because even though Volcarona can use Defog, I don't think I was ever bringing that on Volcarona, if I'm being honest. I had the option, but it was going to be hard to bring. And Eldegoss can be kind of hard to bring sometimes, so now I have 2 Rapid Spin options. Turtonator does also give me a Shell Smash option, even though 36 is a very slow speed. Don't underestimate how much doubling your speed can do for you, especially you don't have to outspeed everything on someone's team. It's sometimes if you can take out the fastest threat, then Shell Smash, it's okay to not be faster than everything. But I think Turtonator just gets a lot of good useful moves too. It has a really good natural defense, a usable special attack and special defense and usable HP to go into. Really good with things like heavy duty boots. So kind of a defensive option, but it can hit pretty hard with a Draco Meteor, with a Fire Blast. It does get things, I think it probably gets Body Press. I know it gets things like Earth Power and Scorching Sands, which really help out with a fire type's weakness. I'm guessing it probably gets Solar Beam as its only grass move, but that's always helpful for a fire type. So I'm really excited by these moves. If real quick we want to try to go ahead and go to our ranking, if that'll load, we're going to look at the division rankings, and here we go. So we are sitting at 3rd in our division. It's really not a huge deal where you're at after week 1, right? Because everyone's only played 1 game, and even if you get smoked, you have a whole season to try to come back and make that. So you can see not quite every match has been put in yet, and 1 match has not been played yet. The Maryland Oddishes and Chicago Bearticks still need to play. Houston Hacks and Minnesota Lycanrocks actually have played, and Ty the Houston Hacks won 3-0. He's actually got a video of it. We got a few guys in our league who also do videos, Regal and Nutshack. And maybe if I'll remember, I will try to link their channels in the description so you can see multiple NPDL battles per week. But if you just see right here, no one has had a hugely dominant start. The biggest win has been a 3-0. So everyone's kind of just still in there, but you can see in the green who's currently the division leaders, and in the yellow who would make it as a wild card at this point. So obviously there's a part of me that wishes that Power Whip would have hit so that I have a 5-0 instead of a 1-0 victory. But hey, on the flip side, I'm sure Alec wishes that Will-O-Wisp would have hit on Scrafty so that he could have had himself possibly a 1 or 2-0 victory. So that's just how it goes with hacks. You know, like everyone's always going to be a little annoyed, but it was a great game. Always got to take my hat off to Alec when we play. I feel like we've had a lot of close games in the past. So if I am playing the Maryland Odysseys next week, if we're able to work that out, like I said, he still hasn't played his week 1 game, but we'll figure that out. We'll get things figured out. But anyway, I want to thank you for watching this video, guys. I know the video itself was short. I'm just happy I was able to make it usable. I've been having trouble with OBS, and I think I may have finally started figuring out a few things to where I can at least bring you videos, and hopefully down the road there'll be a little higher quality level videos too. But baby steps, I'm just happy to have anything up. So appreciate you watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Give me your thoughts on the battle. Tell me what you think I should have done differently. Tell me to stop doing a raid and playing Pokemon Go while I'm trying to record a video. Very unprofessional, Ben. Guys, I'm going to hop on out of here. Have yourself a great night. Peace.